This podcast is for a mature audience and may be viewed as inappropriate or insensitive to some. Listener discretion is advised. The intention is to share conversation of like and unlike-minded individuals as they try to be the best them they can be in a life full of challenges, searching for love, acceptance, and positivity. Call 669-241-1422 and share yourself or catch up with SweetBaby Jay for an anonymous face-to-face interview. Feel free to call in with questions, stories, thoughts, or anything you would love to talk about and share. Nothing is off the table when talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay at 669-241-1422.
Ladies and gents and ladies, once again, you are here talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay. As always, it's a no face, no case scenario. We have this queen right here on the mic. Young lady, would you like to share your name or would you like to keep it anonymous?
Well, you know, they call me Red.
Oh, okay. Hey, Red, how you doing?
Hey, boo.
Hey, boo. Hey, listen, man, from what I understand of you, you are former PO. And then by PO, I don't mean private orthodontist. You are a former, you're a retired police officer.
I am.
Wow, that's pretty dope. Big city, small town, where were you at?
A big city.
Wow. That's dope. So, Big Red, I got to ask, as a female being a police officer, how was that and retired? So you did what, 20, 25 years?
I did 20 years.
May I ask, are you black, white, Spanish?
I'm black.
So you are a black female police officer that has done 20 years. How was that for you?
Well, I must say that my entire career was great. Really no complaints. Wherever I was, it was mad love from the community, the people I served. I really have nothing bad to say about my experience as a black female officer. It was a beautiful thing.
In current days, we hear of so many things with police violence or police brutality, but the majority of police officers go their whole career without ever having an incident like this or discharging their weapon or taking a life. The majority of police officers go, this ever happened?
That's true.
And was this your case? Did you ever have to discharge a weapon or have you ever shot someone?
Oh, no. Well, no. In regards to that, I've never had to. Now, I may have pulled it out of its holster, depending on the situation, but never to harm anyone. Never. I've never even used my mace.
Let me ask you then, because you said you've pulled it out of its holster, but never to harm someone. So
no.
Why would you pull it out of the holster?
I would pull it out because maybe I'm in the midst of gunfire.
Oh.
And the flames of the nozzles of other people's guns, the other side of the fence, may be near me. In that case, depending what I am, say I would go to a rooftop of a housing development, I would draw my weapon.
Make sure it's clear.
It's clear.
Great. Well, listen, I'm going to say congratulations on getting all those years in, never discharging your weapon, never harming someone, or never taking a life. But
no.
I think sometimes the way that society is now thinking is that all police officers or all too many police officers often end up taking their lives. And that is just not the reality of what's going on.
No, it's not. You know, it's a lot that takes place. Like for you to even have, not you per se, but maybe the majority, maybe not. I don't know the statistics on that, where people think that the majority of officers have taken a life. For the most part, that is not the goal of the day. The day, serve and protect. Now, do you come across situations? Rarely. That's not the reality of our job. That wasn't the reality.
I hear and feel and also understand that a lot of police officers' main goal is to get home at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
No matter who they come across, the goal is to get home at the end of the day.
This is true.
Now, I totally understand that because I myself was a military police officer, and when I was in Iraq, my whole mission was to get home.
Get home.
And there was nothing that was going to stop me in that. And also in that, there were times when I almost took lives. But my weapon jammed. Gosh damn it, that was so. But I was like, oh, snap. Luckily, there were many others around me. But there were times when I almost took lives.
Yeah.
It's wild. But when you hear about what's going on in today's society, like, for instance, with the Floyd case, what is your take on that?
Well, my take on that is that it's about time. Because once you look at the history of an officer, We all know that history. Some do, some don't. They were designed to catch slaves.
I was going to say, share it from your perspective.
Yeah, they were designed to catch slaves. So I think that the mentality of the individual that does not uphold to serve and protect professionalism, courtesy, and respect, there is another agenda, definitely. And you see it. I've seen it. But I think we're in a day and age that's really, we're on our way to things being exposed for what it really is. I do believe there are people on the force that, I've heard someone say that the baton, the stick, was a nigger beater.
Really? You've heard that?
Yeah.
How do you address someone that you actually hear saying that? And
let me correct myself. I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
But another fellow officer heard it. And overheard the individual saying that. So, they always challenge me, I'm saying, to approach certain people because that's just my character. Like, I'm not really afraid of people, no matter who you are. So they would be like, hey, my name was Hard Rock on the street. So my other officers would be like, hey, listen, ask so-and-so, what does the baton do? What is it for? And I actually approached that individual and I asked him, hey, so-and-so, what is the baton for? What is the stick for? And I kept digging at him, getting him to actually admit what he said. But of course, he wouldn't say that to me. But someone overheard this individual saying that. But I'm glad about the verdict. I'm glad about it. And I just think that it taught the domino effect. Now go after the rest of those that have willingly, just off GB, hunt us down like savages on purpose.
So this is the thing. There was a police officer. This is something that I've actually seen on Google recently. A female officer, black female, who lost her job because she stopped another officer who had a chokehold on I don't want to say perp, or he had a chokehold on another person, a man. Happened to be a black man. This is a white officer. And she stopped him. She ended up losing her job because of that.
Wow.
Many years ago. And just recently was given her, I guess, her pension or whatever the case may be. But
right.
And the reason why I even bring this up is it even something that can happen, or how feasible is it to step in and say, hey, chill, calm down, stop, or pull on a fellow officer off of someone and not getting the blowback from that?
Well, you know what? You have to listen, everyone is not designed to be an officer. It has to be something special within you that you're able to do that kind of work, first of all. So I think that I'll give an example, and it can be done because I worked with an individual where, you approach a certain situation and then, they're mouthing off and this, that, and the third. So my partner at the time goes, I could lock you up, and all that is to me is overtime. Talking about his pockets and the type of money that he would acquire off the backs of him doing whatever to another individual. So I had to tell him, I said, yo, check this out. And this is a black officer. So I had to tell him, I said, listen, at the end of the day, you see that domestic situation, you just went through that. So what you have to do is you don't talk like that to the people around me. Because see, I understand if he had to smack his niece upside her head because she running the streets acting crazy. You got to be able to relate. Don't think that you would never be in that situation, and don't think that it could never happen to you. Because 9 times out of 10, it did. So you got to remember, we're dealing with people, everyday lives, situations happen. So you to talk to another individual about overtime in your pockets and this, that, and the third, no, that ain't even necessary to say.
I feel you. So do you understand where someone that's being talked to like that, the frustration that builds in them when an officer is talking to them like that, how they can retaliate? Do you, because you sound like a level-minded individual, but do you understand where they can retaliate because that's being said to them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the moment it's just word, but the person has a situation, so you don't want to add fuel to the fire because it can escalate.
Real quick.
The thing is, you want to keep the peace. You want to keep the professionalism, and you want to keep the respect. So, of course, not all the time we're to be respected, and I've come across situations where we're not. But a lot of times I would be the talker anyway. Like, I was known for talking down anybody because I just guess it's a gift. It's a thing called, well, I'll say it, verbal judo.
The gift of gab. The gift of gab. Go ahead, get it, girl.
Oh, yeah, I'm the gift of gab. I'll let you talk, and then I'll be like, you done? Okay, my turn. And then, you just get realistic with the individual. And I've heard a lot of times, I'm sorry, and I apologize for what I said to you, but I've never been talked to like a human being before from an officer.
That being said, you can understand that often people, I guess, feel that their interactions with police officers, they're not treated as human beings, which is why things escalate so quickly often.
That's true. And then again, you can't be so laid back either. And then again, it's funny, our people, and I'll say black people, supposed to, I'll give an example. We are approaching a baby shower, and you have alcohol, you have drugs. There's a lot going on at this baby shower. Now, because these individuals are black, automatically they see this sister, which is me, and they're like, oh, she'll understand. She like us. She understand what's going down. No, I don't. I take that as a disrespect just because if I was on the other team, you would not do that. You would be quick to hide your alcohol. You would be quick to hide your drugs. You would have so much respect for the other individual. But no, because I'm black and I'm a sister, I'm supposed to be able to understand. No, I don't understand anything. And now I have to proceed how I have to proceed with you.
The double-sided coin right there.
Right.
Wow.
Now,
never thought about that.
I'll warn. Oh, yeah. Some I'll warn. I'll see a guy that I see all the time in the hood, and they know me. So it's like, I know what you're doing. You smoking weed, this, that, and the third. And I'll approach him like, listen, put that away. It ain't even appropriate for you to be out on the bench in the public. If I was somebody else, you would not get a warning. So now, because the particular neighborhoods that I were in policing, I could see them on the weekend, these same individuals, in the same restaurant or going to the movie theater,
Dressed in the same way.
Yeah, I'll see them in the streets and they be like, yo, that officer right there, yo, she is the truth. And they go on and on. I never had a bad, I'm telling you, my career was good. And I think most of all because I was able to relate to the community. And not only black people, the community at large. Because as you know, gentrification, yeah, it's there. But when I first started out, I was dealing with my people.
So respect. You feel that your great career as an officer was built on respect.
Yeah.
Wow.
You get a couple of knuckleheads, but at the end of the day, not many. Because first of all, you already acquired that rapport with the people. They see you, and it's like, nah, she good. Not that one.
Let me ask you. Wait, when you first started, I gotta know the real deal. Was you nervous as a police officer when you first started?
Actually, no.
No?
Because I grew up in the housing development.
Okay.
I know. I was good. I didn't have no what you call that, what do they call that? Some type of culture shock. I didn't have that. So you have to be, I'm telling you, you have to, have special qualities. I see people trying. You can't try at this thing. It has to flow. And when it flows, you can't be a butthole. You're going to end up somewhere. I don't know where that is, but it ain't going to be good.
I feel you on that because I really do feel that I was a military police officer, and in that reserve, a lot of people in my unit were actually police officers and corrections officers in their personal lives. And one thing I did see is that a lot of people actually, they were probably bullied or little weaklings when they were, and now they're in the force and now they feel unstoppable. Actually, in all honesty, they maneuvered like Terminators. They were looking for a reason. looking for a reason. Now, was that just my perception, or from an officer? Are there some out there like that?
I believe so, of course, because looking for a reason. Now, mind you, we are people too. Mm-hmm. We have family issues. We may have health issues.
Background issues.
A lot that people don't really know about. So it's important that you try to. I don't know. I think it needs to be something implemented in the system where, and it is though, where an officer can go and talk and have therapy and group sessions, this, that, and the third. But some people, most do not utilize that because they feel like it's going to come back to haunt them. Mm. So the officer will deal with whatever it is they're dealing with. And then you come on the street and then you got to deal with this individual, and they tap into an area where you're already at 1,000.
You already got your personal issue going on, and then someone listen. Thinking about it, what was this dude here name that shot Trayvon Martin? What was that dick face name?
Trayvon Martin. I don't know, man. I ain't good with names.
Yeah, me neither. But anyway, Zimmerman.
Yeah.
The day that Zimmerman, I may be wrong, I may be correct, but the day that Zimmerman actually shot Trayvon Martin, his wife said that she was leaving him and moving out and all this and stuff. So his personal issues spilled over into how he interacted. Dude wasn't even acting as a police officer. He was a play cop. He wanted to be a cop.
Right. It's a lot of things I think about that individual. Now, where he was, I believe, in that state that, what is it, your license to...
It was Florida.
Right, your license to carry. Am I right? Like,
so I live in Florida, and yes, you can carry.
Yeah, right. Now, I mean, come on. I would say, okay, you had an issue prior to your home situation. There was an issue going on, but I don't know. Should that be connected to the murder of that young man? I don't know. And is that a good enough excuse?
No excuse.
You're not even a real police.
No excuse.
Right. So I think that whole thing was like disgusting. And I think a lot of times you look and you gotta call a spade a spade. Like, no, that was wrong. And you should be up under the jail.
With that being said, do you hear of a lot of these situations where they consider police brutality, or an officer shot someone? As an officer, let's say prior to you retiring, are you able to say, nah, that was wrong, or you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because we have our own conversations. We're a family. So you know who you can have these conversations with and who to avoid certain conversations with. Definitely. Oh, definitely. You're not going to sit down and have your own opinion about certain things around certain people. Because at the end of the day, the crab's in a barrel. So you got to be careful with that. You can't talk around everybody. But, you talk around your circle and you voice your opinion. You're like, nah, that was wrong. And this is the way I feel about it. And it could be safe where it's being discussed.
I feel you.
Unless you want to let somebody else know you really don't, you don't give a damn. You be like, yeah, nah, that was twisted, and he should burn, and he should be thrown up under the freaking cell.
Do those conversations take place in which
they do?
Wow, and how? What is the end result to that? Like, you having a conversation.
The end result is I ain't saying nothing to her no more.
There's good and bad to that. There's good and bad to that because it's good to know how someone feels within the inside. When they have the clothing off, to see that person naked for who they are. Yep. I think there's great things in that. But at the same time, when people are putting on that coat that hide, you don't know who they really are.
It is not good either. I know I was having a conversation one time, I remember, and we were talking about the hood. Mm. And someone, no melanin.
A white person?
Yeah. Said, she know.
What that mean? What does that mean?
Well, okay then. So when I heard that, I was like, ask me what about the hood? So this individual turned, I'll tell you, red as a beet, because what do you mean by ask? Why not ask
Rodriguez? Let's ask Rodriguez.
Why me? So the person got a little nervous. And I was like, well, first of all, hood is short for neighborhood. But that's my slang. That's my people's slang. So we say hood. But why is it that you should refer to me about the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up there. So no, I didn't mean, right.
You know,
Listen,
you said what
I'm
you
not
said
the
and you
one.
meant what you said.
Right. But, they were scared to death afterwards because they didn't know how I was going to come at them. I said, don't do that again, stupid.
Was this person of higher ranking?
No.
How do you interact with someone of higher ranking that has these warped mindsets?
Well, listen, first of all, higher ranking, they're funny. They are who make the job difficult, actually. But I'll say this one time. I think I was using a ledge. This is when I first came out. I was using a ledge to write on. I was writing something. So
you said you first came out. What you mean?
Graduated.
Okay.
So I'm in my command. So I'm leaning on a ledge. Someone of higher ranking came beside me and proceeded to move me out of the way to use that ledge, but didn't say,
excuse me,
so-and-so, could I borrow the ledge for a minute? Not a word. But it's funny because I stayed there and didn't move.
As you should have done.
And I stayed there until the individual said, hey, so-and-so, you mind if I use the ledge for a minute? Oh, not a problem, Lou.
Oh, this was a lieutenant. All right.
You came right. Because, see, no, you're not going to do that. I don't care what rank you are.
So
everything is done in respect.
So you demand the same respect from officers as on the streets.
Oh, yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, bosses, no, I'm not scared. And I never had a problem with any higher ranking individual. I was loved.
That's what's up. Listen, I've told many people after my experience as a military police officer, being a police officer in these streets, in these big cities, that is something I want no parts of. Because, man, listen, I feel that everybody's out for you. The public is out for you. Your higher command is out for you. Yeah, I couldn't do that because it just seems like a very stressful job. Is it true that they say that there is what do you call it? You have to meet a quota as far as tickets or arrests, and are these things really true? I've heard it. I couldn't believe it, but is it true?
I mean, you have to do your job.
Yeah.
I don't know about no quota, but you got to do your job. And depending on what type of the neighborhood you're in, do your job. When you come in the house, the station house, and you are tallying up what you rode and things that you've done, your activity for the day.
You have to show what you were doing.
You have to show your existence as an officer.
Okay.
So now, not saying that it can't go good all day, all night without anything. It can, but depending on where you are, nah. Come on. What you doing out there? Because look, I was in that same development, and I wrote my whole packet of freaking summonses.
You in Brooklyn, it ain't that sweet. Come on now, I know things is popping.
Come on. It's popping. Yeah, it must have been in your face. You must have been scared, nervous, or something.
Did you walk around blindfolded all day, Officer McLaren?
Right. You had to be blindfolded.
Were you sleeping all day, Officer McLaren?
Right.
I need to know.
Right.
Because every other officer gave 98 summonses and you came in with
and you
one.
come in here with nothing.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing. No, you have to, come on. You can't win. Come on, no.
So it's a job, like any. It's a job.
Right, like any. And
it's a job.
Is what it is.
Show your existence, do what you're supposed to do. It's not a game. But at the same time, this is a job in which people very well may be able to take your life. Make sure you go home to your family.
Oh, definitely. And they don't care either. You get approached and the guys is like, listen, I don't care nothing about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Ask about me. You know what I'm saying? And you looking like, fool ass. Listen, go get a job. You talking to us right now? Nah. Go do that and listen. Go get in the loudspeaker and order a burger for somebody.
What is the worst type of calls that you've been called to?
The worst type of call.
Because the reason why I ask that is because I personally feel that domestic disturbance calls are the worst ones that you can possibly, tensions are high. Or,
they are. Could approach a domestic violence call, and the person is stabbed up. The victim is stabbed up in the corner. You know, body still jumping and moving because it is fresh.
Wow.
Organs still going, but they are dead in front of kids. Domestic, mostly domestic, where you have a mother, you know, her son's child's father, and she's now in a new relationship, and they are both gang affiliated. So word gets out that one is coming after the other. So one tries to get at the other before they get, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now shot up in the elevator, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's just not a pretty sight.
So this is not just stuff that you see on TV. This is real life.
No, this is real life.
Wow.
This is real life.
One of my favorite TV shows is First 48. And
yes, I watched that. I watched that.
And I often believe, like, they're exploiting a certain demographics. But apparently, this is really real.
It is real. Wow. It is. And it's like, wow, dang. You know, you got to get up on a scene where a young boy or young girl has just been murdered, not even reaching 19 yet. And now you have to secure the scene and it's blood everywhere. Now you have to prevent the people from walking through the crime scene, but they cursing you out because they can't walk a certain way. You mad. So now I say, you mad? No, I'm upset. I'm upset. You're supposed to be manning your hood.
Is this something that has been the reality for your career? Like you've seen a lot of dead people?
Yeah.
Wow. Is there any kind of mental therapy or anything that is to aid you in this? Because that's not normal. Most people go through their whole life and not see a bunch of dead bodies, but this is a part of your job.
I must say that I've seen the deceased, but not to the point where I needed some help.
Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't need help?
Oh, no, I was good. No, you know what I'm saying? I was good, you know, because that wasn't the majority of my job. So, no, I was good.
Wow.
I was good because I was still able to function. I was still able to do my job.
But able to function, able to do your job, that doesn't necessarily mean unaffected.
But not affected in a way where I got to go out sick or I need to see a therapist. No.
Is that something?
It's like you're pissed, but you get over it.
Is that something that's offered? Like if you see something that's not in the norm or something that you can't handle?
Oh, yeah, it's offered. It's offered.
Do a lot of people take it?
No, I don't know about a lot of people. See, that's the part that's private. You don't know that. You don't know who's taking what. Like I became a peer support group person where assigned to a certain location where I would now be the eyes and ears and interacting with my other fellow officers if they needed to talk to someone in privacy.
Were you utilized often?
Did I utilize it often?
Yeah, no. Were you utilized? Were those services utilized by other officers?
People would come to me, because of me, of who I was. So, you know, you got to be careful. You know, we are not really trustworthy in the certain type of areas pertaining to the job. So it's like, nah, I know I could talk to her. She mad cool.
Interesting.
And as soon as you announce who you are, they're like, oh, nah, can I talk to you for a second?
Interesting. So people would come to you not just because of the title or what you did, but because they knew who you were as an individual. Like what I will say to her stays with her.
Yeah. Wow. They knew that.
Wow. Was that ever something that weighed heavy? Like, yo, this person just told me this and this person is a major asshole for what they've done, but yet I have to keep it confidential.
You know, I would never sit down and tell another person's story. Now, if I felt like it's something that maybe the boss needed to know, there needed to be some extra help, then yeah. But most of the stuff was, you know, of course, the job. And then, you know, family, you know, people got issues. Listen, you know, they got situations.
Another one of my favorite shows is, what is it, not New York Undercover.
Law and Order?
Yeah. Was you reading my damn mind?
I love Law and Order. Yeah. I could watch that all day and night.
First of all, let's go back. I tore my ACL. I did not even know about the show Law and Order until I tore my ACL. And I was home for 6 months on therapy and everything. That show is on 24/7.
It is.
It's always, if it's not on one channel, it's another channel, 24/7. Law and Order's on. But I was watching Law and Order SVU, and in that they've had officers that have been, maneuvered inappropriately. Is that something that really happens? I mean,
what you mean?
Like they violated women or men sexually within their career. Is that real, or is this just a TV show?
I believe that has happened, yeah.
Sheesh.
I've heard of that happening. I've heard of it, but I don't know. I never knew anybody that experienced that personally, but I've heard about that.
It's real out here, and I can only imagine, right? If, as an officer, if you know that someone's doing something like this, that puts a lot of blood, a lot of dirt on the shield. I think the objective would be to bury this person and get them off, because it makes you look bad as an officer. Because when one officer does something, all officers are viewed as if one person's mistake is all officers' mistake.
And that's true.
Yeah.
And that is true.
Come on, love. Let me tell you something. Here on Talkin Sweet, everything I say is true. Go ahead. Go get it.
I don't know about that Talkin Sweet. But, yeah, you find that one person, that one individual is just a real turd. Everybody is labeled. It's something, you just look at the uniform. You're not really looking at the individual. You're just looking at the uniform of the day.
I really feel that this case with Floyd. Floyd, yes. I know, right? I'm worse than you with names.
Look. Don't say that to a protester.
Exactly, right? Go figure. But the thing about it is, I feel that this officer, even though I feel that he was 1,000,000,000% guilty, he needed to be made an example of.
But he needed to. He needed that night. He needed that guilty verdict.
He needed, because you know what? Too many.
But listen. That's not his first victim.
That's what I'm saying.
They're saying that this guy had a rap sheet of that type of behavior. That's a problem.
And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because there are officers where this is a problem. How do you call them out and still maintain your career?
Well, this is what happened. The community. Okay, the community. When there is an officer that's like, okay, you off the chain. I don't know.
The Terminator.
You need to be off the street. The community, and I've seen it where people in the community, they put hits out.
Wait, what?
They when you get a lot of threatening phone calls to where the person works, and it's like, listen, we got to take you off the street because we're getting calls that
isn't that person
somebody is going to hurt you.
Isn't that person just relocated? Because there are officers that have been terminated from their job as, let's say, NYPD. And you know what? They just go and be Boston PD.
Oh, well, yeah, but it ain't got nothing to do with New York.
Damn.
If they came from New York, they came from now Boston got to deal with it.
See, but that's a problem. If you ask me personally, that's a problem. That you can leave one county or one city as an officer, but yet you go to another county or another city as an officer, and you are allowed to maneuver again because your mentality doesn't change.
Now, you know what? I don't know if I never heard of a case like that where, like you gave the example, like say they're coming from, okay, they relocated NYPD, now they're in Boston and they're being a butthole. I really don't know if, because calls are made, and that's how it is. Calls are made. The courtesy is to give the people a heads up on this type of individual. Like, this individual is like this. Be careful.
So I don't recall the documentary that I was watching, but it was one in which an officer that shot someone several times because he was walking in the street. And the officer actually, I'm going to have to say, terminated this young man. It was one recently in which
walking in the street.
He was walking in the street, and it was a young black male, and the officer shot him down, killed him, shot him several times. One of the shots were to the head. That was the one.
That doesn't even make sense. I'm walking the street and you run up on me and murder me.
The officer told him to get out the street, and the conversation took place. But the thing about it is that officers from this community, I think this officer, I can't recall the name right now, but this officer was terminated from another district or another county and was rehired in this one. It was only a county over. That's a problem. That's a problem.
A major problem.
And it's not uncommon, unfortunately. I'm going to have to say, we are coming up on time, but I really appreciate you for giving some more insight into the workings of being a police officer and what is expected of you, what is expected of the community, and how to maneuver. Because some people just don't know how to maneuver when approached by a police officer. What would be your recommendation in such a thing?
My recommendation would be comply and fight later. Comply if that's possible. Comply. Let's not get into no words and don't get into that whole battle with the BLM and save it. Comply. Yeah. And if you are legitimately right and you know you have a case, proceed afterwards.
It's
have not much to say.
Yeah. So
comply.
An officer that I was actually in Iraq with recently was out here putting posts up on Facebook, FBLM, this and that and this. And I actually reached out to him and was like, yo, listen, my man, I don't think that's smart. You should not be putting this on your Facebook because it can have a lasting effect if you were to get into a situation. This is something that anyone can post about you. Like, yo, listen, this was his mindset. And I can only imagine this is coming because he had a lot of officers backing him. And this guy was NYPD.
Right.
So with that being said, I know that he wasn't the only one because
trust me. Let me tell you something. Okay. That would be on another segment. People were saying very ignorant statements. And I think it's because I would say, well, you will never know what it is to be what I am until you put that uniform on. Mm-hmm. So it's easy for you to be on the other side saying what it is that you're saying. But then you have some people that the remarks and I'm seeing it on social media and I'm like, wow, you're a racist for real.
Yeah.
And you darker than me.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow.
This gentleman was darker than you. He's a Spanish male police officer, but yet to hear all the FBLM and this and that, I was actually thinking his mind is infected.
Yeah, he is not. Listen, what is it he perpetrating the fraud? I mean, who knows where he's at? Please, why would you even post anything like that? Like, what are you, 10 years old? Like, come on. But see, you're the one that's on the street protecting and serving. You're the one that I call and I get you to come to my door.
That's the problem.
That's a problem.
Oh, a problem. Well, young lady, unfortunately, all good things come to an end, and I think it was great that we were able to have this conversation. Hopefully, we can have it again. Nothing's off the table when talking sweet. I'm going to have to say I hope you stay beautiful, living a beautiful life. And any last words as you stay great?
Let's see. Any last words as I stay great? Nah, I'm just going to continue to be great.
Damn straight. Holla at you.
Bye.
All right, later.
That's about it.